Demo. Okay, so hello fellow Toastmasters and guests. A very good afternoon to everyone. I am happy to welcome you to the 576 meetings of Medley Toastmasters Club. I am Abhimanyu. I am Sergeant and Arms for today's meeting. The mission of Toastmasters Club is to provide a mutually supportive and positive learning environment in which every member gets an opportunity to improve communication and leadership skills, which in turn boosts self-confidence and personal growth. In every Toastmasters meeting, we follow three ground rules. Rule number one, that is, please maintain silence throughout the meeting. If you are not talking, put yourself on mute. Please avoid taboo topics such as sex, religion, and politics. And step number three, that is, please do join the meeting in a formal attire. With this, to proceed over the meeting, we have the president of the Medley Toastmasters Club for today, which is Thomas Abraham. A small and very nice introduction about him. He calls himself a communicator for life. Apparently, through effective communication, he got it deeds from day one of his life. Later, he specifies in 360-degree corporate communication and earned a living out of it. Toastmasters is one of the more avenue to pursue communication in its many forms, which he counts as one of its greatest joy. Over to you, Chief.
Thank you very much for that flattering introduction, Sergeant at Arms, Toastmaster. First of all, my hearty welcome to all of you, Toastmasters and future Toastmasters, to the first full-fledged meeting of this term in Medley. I would like to acknowledge the presence of our former district director and the current IAP, DTM Sugati Periswamy. And guests, we will have a chat at the end of this meeting. Friends, you will remember just a week ago, meeting 575 was a retrospective by the past Medlians and an introspection by the current Medlian. Continuing in this vein for a little while more, let's look at the demography of Medley a little more closely. Barring the two founder fathers, rather the charter members and myself, all of you, all the Medlians are in the age group of 20 to 50, of which only 10 people have been with Medley for more than 4 years. And majority of us are 2 years vintage in Medley and half of them just 1 year vintage. So given that kind of a membership, what do? That's precisely why we have taken fundamentals as the focal point for this term. Fundamentals as in terms of improving meeting quality and interest, mentorship, increasing the avenues for making speeches so that our needs can be met, and evaluation. Therefore, we will see more of how we make changes to suit the requirements of the membership. Today's meeting, for instance, you will see two changes. One, the timer's writ will run over everyone right from the Sergeant at Arms till the last word spoken by the President. The dog whistle will be there as a threat in case we threaten to take away the members' time. Secondly, it is customary for the President to start with an inspirational speech. I just have two thoughts to give you as inspiration. One is, you know that we are now in a brand new district called District 120, the latest in the spread over 142 organization. We all got a multilingual welcome on Facebook, if you've heard that. Very, very horrifying. So therefore, we have a role to play. We have responsibilities in this new district. The second motivation, if I may, is this. When I joined Medley in 2015, they talked about Golden Gavel as if it's always a normal phenomena for Medley. And it has been so. Now, friends, is the challenge. The new District 8 to 120 has made some amendments in the rule. Golden Gavel will no more be a cakewalk. It's got to be earned by a lot of effort by the members. It's a huge change. So that's the motivation I'm offering you, the inspiration. Together, we will make sure that distinction is intact. So Golden Gavel and all the credit that should go with it will be won by Medlians on behalf of Medlians. So that's a major change. We will share details with you. On to the meeting. To take this meeting forward, we have a young manager who is the business development lead for the high-tech business unit of Cognizant, Mr. Narasimhan, Toastmaster Narasimhan. He has been with Medley since 2019. Again, the number of generation Y or whatever you would like to, of Medlians that I was talking about. His experience, he says, has been fantastic in this months. Medley is like the Red Bull, he says, the drink that is, not the animal. It gives you wings, he says. And why not request Toastmaster Narasimhan to take us on the wings of the magic of music. I would imagine this is the second in a series of nostalgia. The first being the very interesting meeting he gave us about the nostalgia of the 90s. So on to Toastmaster Narasimhan to take us on the wings of magic of movies. On to you, sir.
Thank you, President DTM Thomas Abraham, for the wonderful foreword and introduction. So for the benefit of guests, right, I'm akin to a master of ceremonies or an MC who's going to take you through the proceedings of the day today. In Toastmasters, the term that we use is Toastmasters of the day for MC. And every Toastmasters meeting has a theme. The theme that I've chosen for this meeting is the magic of movies. Everybody, in fact, most of them, if not everyone, are movie buffs. They'll be able to relate, or they will be able to have memories, fond memories of the movies that they watch. They will tend to elucidate mannerisms of some of the heroes that they like, and also imitate a few characters that they've come across in movies throughout their lifetime. So the reason as to why I came across this topic is last week was a very hectic week for me. So I had a lot of work. I was hardly able to sleep. And once the weekend came, the first thing that I decided to do was to watch a movie. And the movie is one of my all-time favorites. It's called Michael Manna Kamarajan by Kamal Haasan. The movie is on the verge of completing its 30th year. I watched that movie, and after watching that movie, I felt really nice. Now, if you watch a really good movie, why do you feel really nice? Is there a science behind it? The scientists in Oxford University did a research and found out that there are 4 happy hormones: oxytocin, dopamine, serotonin, and endorphins. When you're really stressed out, or if you want to improve your mood, it is these hormones which will help you to lighten up or become cheerful. So what exactly happens when you watch a movie that you like, a good movie, is copious amounts of dopamine and endorphins are released, which will make you feel good after the movie. It is not only a stress buster, but also movies helps you create a lot of awareness. For instance, how many of you knew about a condition called dyslexia before this movie Tare Zameen Par came? Or how many of you knew about autism before the movie My Name is Khan came? In fact, when I was young, I learned that cancer is an incurable disease only by watching movies. And even terms like habeas corpus, right, which you came across in the movie Drishyam, is not a commonly used term. So it also helps you to create a lot of awareness. But on the flip side, right, movie also promotes a lot of, violence, a lot of, sexism, etc. So if we leave out the bad parts and if we take only the good parts, right, I believe we can learn a lot from movies. Now, coming on to, say, Toastmasters, like a movie, if you take a movie has 3 main plots: the introduction of characters, you have the plot, and then you have the climax. Similarly, in Toastmasters, you have 3 main sections. We begin with the prepared speeches, followed by a very nice impromptu session called Table Topics, and we have a session on evaluations where the evaluators will give their feedback on the prepared speeches given by our members. So we have 3 sections. Now, if you look like a movie, you have different people coming together. You have actors, actresses, cameramen, music director, etc. There are so many role players over here who are coming together to conduct this meeting. So to conduct the evaluation, I have a young and energetic evaluation session. I have a young and energetic Toastmaster, Pranav Sudarshan. Now, Pranav Sudarshan is pursuing his postgraduate diploma in data science and analytics at Great Lakes. When I check with Pranav as to what his favorite movie is, I mean, no prizes for guessing. If you go to Pranav's Facebook page, right, his name will not be Pranav Sudarshan, it'll be Pranav Potter. So he's a great fan of Harry Potter. Harry Potter, another brilliant movie with brilliant visuals, magic, and sorcery. I'll now hand over the stage to Pranav to explain his roles and responsibilities. Over to you, Pranav.
Uh, Thank you very much, TMOD Narsimhan, for that. So I'm the general evaluator for today. So I'll just be evaluating the entire session, looking for any disturbances and suggest any improvements at the end of the meeting. So while this team is more about movies, well, I have a supporting cast with me who will be the critic of today's sessions, the mega critics, and I will give my review for the entire session at the end. So I'm supported by two teams here. One is called the tag team, and the second one is the evaluation team, who will be coming in the second half of the meeting. So first, starting with my tag team, well, the timer for today, uh, he's playing 3 roles today. So just like Kamal Hassan played 10 roles in Dashavataram, our timer for today, Toastmaster Abhimanyu, is playing the host, the timer, um, and so when I asked Abhimanyu, he told me that he is also a big fan of Harry Potter, just like me. And one day he would like to get into platform 9 and 3/4. And Abhimanyu is a very big fan of politics and also a tech savvy guy and a tech enthusiast. So with this, I would like Timer Abhimanyu to please read out your objectives. Abhimanyu?
Thanks, Bruno. Thanks for such a good introduction. So apart from Sergeant at Arms, I'm also the timer for today. So as a timer, I will time the 3 sections of speeches that are prepared speeches, table topic speeches, as well as the evaluations. So I'll also allot each speaker of the time they have left using green, amber, and red card. So for the all the 4 speeches are of like 6 to 7 minutes, except the third speeches that is 9 to 10 minutes. So for the prepared speeches that are 6 to 7 minutes, I will change my background color to green at 6 minutes, amber at 6 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 7 minutes. And for the third speech that is of 9 to 10 minutes, I will change my background color to green at 9 minutes, amber at 9 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 10 minutes. For the evaluations, I will change my background color to green at 2 minutes, amber at 2 minutes 30 seconds, and red at 3 minutes. For the table topic speeches, that is of 1 to 2 minutes, I will change my background color to green at 1 minute, amber at 1 minute 30 seconds, and red at 2 minutes. And every time I change my background color, I will hit a buzzer sound. This is a sound. So every time I change from green to amber or amber to red, I will hit this buzzer sound. And I request all the speakers to pin my video frame in the Zoom so that they will be able to check, they will be able to get to know my background color. Using this, they can get to know the time they have left. Thanks, and over to you, G.
Thank you very much, Abhimanyu, for reading out your objectives in a very detailed manner. Next role player is the R counter for today. That is Toastmaster Shankar. So he works in one of the largest banks in the world. And when I asked him his thoughts on the team, he said that movies give us a lot of entertainment and happiness. And he mentioned a very interesting point, which he says that we can learn a lot of lessons, management lessons from movies, which I very much agree. So with this, I request Toastmaster Shankar to please read out your objectives.
Okay. Thank you, General Evaluator. So today I'll be playing the role of R counter. So this role, it is one of the critical role in the tag player. Why? Because this role spot the number of unnecessary sound or repetitive words used by the speaker, which eventually distract the listener. Some of the words are like im, you know, I mean. So those words I'll be counted, and I will be presented my report when called upon my general evaluator. Over to GE.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Shankar. So, the tag team, the last member of the tag team will be the grammarian for today. So, our grammarian for today is Toastmaster Sarvanan. He works at Ford, and he's been in ADR for the last decade. So, when I asked him his thoughts on the theme, he said that he watches movies, criticizes it, and just forgets it and moves on. Well, for a person like me, if I watch a beautiful movie, a romantic one, I will never be able to forget it even after many days and move on. So, with this, I ask him to read out his objectives as grammarian.
Thank you, General Evaluator. As you know, Toastmasters is all about communication. When we communicate in whatever language, it needs to be correct. As a grammarian, my role is to ensure that I will listen to all the speakers and ensure that the correct usages are noted. At the same time, if there is any misusage of English language, I will note that down as well. And when called upon by the general evaluator, I will be presenting my report as well. For today, the word of the day resonates with the theme of the day as well. The word of the day today is genre. So which means the style or category of art or music or literature. Some examples of using the word genre are the spy thriller is a very masculine genre. Many stories fit into more than one genre. So these are all some of the usages. I would encourage each and every speaker and role player to make use of this word and keep it in your repertoire. Over to the G.
Thank you so
Okay,
much,
sir.
grammarian.
Please, uh, please tell me please display the word of the day in letters. Display the word of the day always. What is the word of the day? Display it in letters on the screen.
Sure, I will send it in the chat
Display
window.
it in letters.
Yeah, I will send it in the chat window, sir. Thank you for your suggestion. I will do
What
that
is
now.
word of the day?
Genre.
Display it in letters.
G-E-N-R-E. Yeah, I understood. I will do that. Over to the G.
What is it? Yes.
Yeah, so
What
now
is it?
I will come back during the
Display
second half
it
of the
in,
meeting for
hey,
evaluation.
display it as a word. Why can't you display it in the screen? Yes. Word of the day can
Yes,
be
sir. He will be
displayed in the
doing it. He will
screen.
be doing it after some time. He said he will do it after some time.
Oh, you have to invite an astrologer.
Please
it.
continue. Please continue, friends.
Yeah, so I'll be back for the second half for evaluation, and I now hand it back to TMOD Narsiman. Narsiman?
Okay.
Thank you, General Evaluator. Another thing that I would like to inform all the speakers before I get to the next phase of this meeting is pin the timer so that it helps you to time your meeting and also ensure that you complete your speech within time. Now moving on to, now we have the introductions of all the characters. Now moving on to the main plot, the prepared speeches. We have 4 wonderfully crafted prepared speeches. So our first speaker of the day is going to be Shyamala. Now Shyamala she completed, she was a student last year, and when I checked with her as to what her favorite movie was, she told me that it keeps changing, but her current favorite movie is a Hindi movie called Chichore. And the reason why she likes this movie is because there's a particular message which the movie leaves with you, and it is that suicide is never the solution for anything. She also quoted one of the dialogues from that movie, which when translated into English goes like this: we are so lost in thinking about winning, losing, success, failure, that we have forgotten about living life. The most important thing in life is life itself. The irony is the person who talked about or who spoke this dialogue actually committed suicide a couple of weeks back, Sushant Singh Rajput. So that also gives us something to think about, right? What happens in real life is completely different from what happens in real life. So before I invite Shamala onto the stage to give a speech, I would like to call upon her evaluator, Toastmaster Raghunath Nair, to read the objectives of her speech. Over to you, Raghunath. Raghunath?
Thank you so much for the thank you so much, Toastmaster of the Day, Narasimhan. For for the speech, the primary purpose of the speech for Shamla is that to demonstrate what he or she had got the feedback from the previous project and incorporate it into her this current speech. Over to you, Shamla. All the best.
Thank you, Toastmaster Raghunath. I would now like to call upon Shamla. Shamla, an angel in disguise. An angel in disguise, Shamla. Over to you.
Thank you, TMOD. Am I audible?
Yes.
Yes.
Okay, thank you. I grew up listening to fairy tales by my Amama, that is my grandmother, like any other kid, where every story used to literally end with the concept of angel in disguise. Now, as a kid, I never used to believe in that concept because it was far away from the reality. And I thought, my Amama is telling something for the sake of it. But wait, life is full of surprises, right? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. Recently, I had to stay alone for 2 weeks in Chennai while my parents were away in my hometown. It was a weekend, and my maid Geeta just finished her work, told me goodbye, and left. It was right after lunch that I realized that my body temperature was rising and I developed fever soon. Since we were new to the apartment and I did not know anybody, I was wondering as to what to do. Correctly, when I was doing that, the doorbell rang, and when I opened the door, Geeta appeared before me out of nowhere. I can hear some.
Hello.
Oh, sir.
Sorry, I got distracted because there was a phone ringing. Can I go from the top again?
Go ahead, Shamla.
Go ahead, Shamla. Yeah.
Go ahead from the beginning. It's fine.
Yeah, can I go from the top?
Yes, please.
Yeah, timer, can you please start again?
Yeah, I'm doing.
Request everybody to be on mute because it was actually disturbing. Thank you. Yeah. Yeah, I'll start. I grew up listening to my Amama's fairy tales, that is my grandmother, like any other kid, where every story used to literally end with the concept of angel in disguise. Now, as a kid, I never used to believe in that concept because it was far away from the reality. And I thought, my Amama is telling something for the sake of it. But wait, life is full of surprises, right? Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters and honorable guests. Recently, I had to stay alone for 2 weeks in Chennai while my parents were away in my hometown. It was a weekend, and my maid, Geeta, just finished her work, told me goodbye, and left. It was after lunch that I started realizing that my body temperature was rising, and I soon developed fever. Since we were new to the apartment, I did not know what to do because I didn't know anybody here. Correctly, when I was wondering, the doorbell rang and Geeta appeared before me out of nowhere. She said, "What, madam? You cannot even keep the dustbin inside or what?" I just finished my work and was coming downstairs and I saw the dustbin outside and wanted to keep it inside. Correctly, when she was telling that, she saw that I was trembling and she figured out that I had fever. She immediately rushed to the shop nearby, got me a tablet, prepared some kind of a medicine, and was there with me throughout the evening till I felt better. Now, generally, Geeta just throws the garbage downstairs in the bin and keeps the dustbin outside and leaves. But this time, she decided to come back. Now, this particular instant led me to think what happened a few years ago. Me and my family go to our hometown every Diwali to celebrate the festival with the whole family. And this is the only time of the year which I look forward to because it means celebration and togetherness for me. Generally, we go from Chennai to Gudivada in a train, and from there, we take a train or a bus to go to my hometown, which is 1 hour away. Generally, as a kid, I prefer the train journey more because when I sit near the window seat, the cool air hits my face, my hair flies, and I just get those Bollywood heroine vibes. And the fields on the way are such a beauty to watch. When I was in my third standard, as usual, we were waiting in the Gudivada junction. And there was an announcement saying, Gudivada MTM passenger will arrive shortly on platform number 2. Now we went rushing towards the platform. You know Indian parents when it comes to boarding trains, right? Don't even get me started on them arriving at the station before 1 or 2 hours early. I don't know why, and I don't think I'll ever be able to find the answer for this. Now, when we were on platform number 2, there was no sight of the train, and there was another announcement saying, Gurivada MTM passenger will arrive shortly on platform number 3. Looks like they did a mistake. Now, at this point of time, I saw everybody crossing the railway track and go. And as a kid, even I was tempted to do that. And I did not realize the consequences of this as a kid. And jumped into the railway track before my mom could say anything. I was in the middle of the track with a bag when I saw a moving train approaching towards me at God knows what speed. In panic, I did not know what to do and just kept at the moving train coming towards me because I was frozen. In the next 5 to 7 seconds, I would have been dead when an uncle appeared out of nowhere and managed to distract me. When I saw that uncle, I ran towards the platform and he picked me up and put me next to my mom, who was super anxious by now, and the train passed through us correctly that time. By the time my mom could make sure that her darling daughter is fine and we could say thank you to that uncle disappeared. We were waiting there for the next 5 to 10 minutes and he was out of sight. Till date, I always wonder as to how did I get lucky both the times. And that's when it hit me hard that my mama is actually right. Both uncle and Geeta were the angels for me. With the angels in disguise for me. There's indeed an angel in disguise for you when you are in trouble. So, ladies and gentlemen, as a kid, I always thought that angels are those who have majestic appearance with wings and wand and a ring. But I was wrong. Angels are those who are in the form of humans, who are ready to help you no matter what, without expecting in return. It can be a stranger who helps you smile after a bad day, or it can be someone who helps you when you are in need. Now, the next time I met my Amama, I went and told her excitedly about the discovery I just made. She just laughed it off, maybe because she knew about this long back, but she just on my own. So I don't know why she did that, but I do know the meaning of angels right now. So that uncle taught me a very important lesson that day, and I try to help others when they are in need. So, TMOD, who is your angel in disguise?
Thanks a lot, Shamla. It was a brilliant speech. My angel in disguise, there have been a lot of people. If I were to point a few of them, it would definitely be my mother, my father, and of course, in the recent past, it has always been my wife and my kid. Now, moving on, our second speaker of the day is going to be Renu Narayanan. So, Renu needs no introduction in the Toastmaster or in the Medley fraternity. Renu is a social activist. She's also an amazing storyteller. She's got her own brand of storytelling called Katha Vriksh. When I check with Renu as to what her favorite movie is, she said that her favorite movie is Tangle, and she's watched it umpty number of times, and she loves the way one of the characters in the movie, Rapunzel, is portrayed. Before I call upon Renu, I would like to call upon her evaluator to read out the objectives of Renu's speech. Over to you, evaluator Rangarajan.
Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters. Renu will be giving her speech in presentation mastery, level 1, project 2, evaluation and feedback. The speech is titled Safety First. The purpose of TM Renu's project is for her to develop skills for delivering and receiving feedback. Over to you.
Thank you, Toastmaster Rangarajan. Renu Narayanan, safety first, Renu Narayanan, over to you.
It was an afternoon in July 1992, Saturday. I was reading a book when all of a sudden the landline started to ring. I picked up the call and heard a familiar voice. It was my friend Princess. Hey Renu, if you aren't doing anything special this weekend, why don't you come over to my house and spend the night? This evening we are planning to go to the yacht club. I looked at the clock. It was 3 p.m. I thought I would have enough time to get there. So I agreed and told her I would be there in an hour's time. I got ready, packed an overnight bag, and left. I had no idea what was in store for me. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and guests. I reached my friend's house in exactly 30 minutes. Excellent timing if you consider the fact that all the way from Tiruvallur to Egmore. There was hardly any traffic and I had gone on my scooter. My friends were ready to leave. Drink. So after that, we got into their car. Princess, her husband Venki, and their 2.5-year-old daughter Mithu. We set off to the Madras port. The yacht club was situated inside. We waited at the gate, got the necessary permission, and once the passes were handed over, we continued driving inside. When we reached the club in the designated area where it was meant to be, chairs had already placed at the river's edge, and we sat down. Relaxed for a while. Then Venki said he was going sailing. He asked me would I would go along, and I agreed immediately. After all, I had never been on a sailboat before. His daughter Mithu also said she's going to come. And so we got into the boat. A very experienced sailor, Murugan, from the yacht club, was already in the boat. He instructed us to sit on either side of the boat in order to maintain balance. So I sat on the right, Mithu sat next to me, and Venki sat on the left. It was a beautiful day. According to Murugan, the perfect day to go sailing. The breeze was cool, the wind was blowing in the right direction, and we started to sail. We moved further and further away from the pier. Mithu and I were trailing our hands in the water. Venki and Murugan were chatting. As we moved towards the breakwaters, there were a few dark clouds in the sky. Venki suggested that perhaps we should go back. And Murugan said, "Don't worry, sir. Nothing will happen. We'll go up to the breakwaters and then we'll go back." So we continued to sail. But that was a bad decision. The weather got steadily worse. The dark clouds became even darker. It started to rain and the boat started to sink. I was beginning to panic. The wind had suddenly changed direction, and now, though Murugan was trying his best to turn the boat around, the sail was all. Venki finally got up. The boat listed heavily towards the right, where I was sitting, and some water came gushing in. I started to panic really badly. But Mithu, she started to scream, "I'm going to die, I'm going to die, I want my mama, I want my mama." I had no idea what I should do to pacify her. I had no experience with children her age. My heart was in my mouth, and I tried my best to pacify her. Finally, the wind died down a bit, and Venki and Murugan, with a lot of effort, managed to turn the boat around. And soon we were moving slowly towards the pier. I was still terrified. This was my first experience at sea. And just to think that none of us had been wearing life jackets. And to top it all, I didn't even know how to swim. And I'm sure even if I had known swimming, I wouldn't have survived. When we reached the landing stage, Princess was waiting there with a terrified look on her face. She had heard Mithu screaming. As soon as we reached, she picked up Mithu from the boat. By then, Mithu was screaming hysterically. We were all sopping wet. We toweled ourselves dry, and then we went back home. That whole night I had nightmares. I felt the bed was a boat being rocked violently in the angry sea. The next morning, after breakfast, I went back home. That was the most horrible experience that I will never forget. That's what made me realize how abysmal is the safety conditions in India. We have no idea what safety standards are. I did not share this incident with my husband for a very long time. At the time when it happened, we were married just for 4 months and he was away at sea. My husband is very strict about safety standards. He worked in the merchant navy for years. When I actually shared this with him, he was very upset. I remember the first time when we met, he realized I'd been riding the scooter without a helmet for the 2 years. He insisted on buying me one and instructed me very sternly, never ever ride the bike without wearing a helmet first. And later when we bought a car, he would insist that both of us wear our seatbelts. I was very reluctant to do so. But these days, the first thing I do as soon as I get into the car is to wear my seatbelt. In fact, there have been many occasions when I've given a lift to somebody or somebody else has been driving, and I always insist, please wear your seatbelt. Now, why am I sharing this incident with you? Even today, though helmet and seatbelt have become compulsory, people still don't wear them. And the only reason they wear is because they don't want to be caught by a cop or to be fined. So my request to all of you, if you ride a bike or you drive a car, do not forget to wear a helmet or a seatbelt as the case may be. Let's not take safety for granted. Anything can happen anytime. Therefore, always keep in mind safety first. Thank you for listening. Over to you, Toastmaster today.
Thank you, Toastmaster Renu, for that wonderful speech. It also highlighted a few things on safety first, and your plot is no less than a thriller movie, of course, with message in the end on safety first. Now, I would request all the non-speakers to be on mute. Please ensure that your microphones are on mute because it disturbs the flow of the speakers. Now moving on to our next speaker. Our next speaker needs your introduction again, is Toastmaster Tyagarajan. When I check with Toastmaster Tyagarajan on what his favorite movie is, he said that in the recent past, one of his favorite movies has been a movie called, an award-winning film called Kaka Muttai. It brings in a lot of realism that is evident in a day-to-day life, and also the climax. It had a beautiful climax. It's a single line dialogue after both the guys who are throughout the movie wanting to have a pizza. After tasting it, they said that this dish is nothing before our grandma's idiyappam. Before I call upon Toastmaster Tyagarajan, I would like to call upon his evaluator, Toastmaster Priyadashni Belur, to read out the objectives of his speech. Over to you, Priyadashni.
Good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters. The objective of this speech is to understand the purpose of stories about historical events or people, to use the storytelling skills developed in the preceding projects, and to tell the story about a historical event or person. And the time allotted is 7 to 9 minutes. Please note this, 7 to 9 minutes for the speech. Over to you, TMOD.
Okay.
Thank you,
The pleasure
Toastmaster.
is mine. Privileged evaluator, oh, gentle lady, am I visible to all of you?
Yes,
Have
sir,
you taken the effective position?
Yes, sir, yes.
Yes, sir.
Oh, yes. Okay. Now,
Yes, sir.
the speech pertains to discovery of vitamin, how it was discovered. So, this is a write-up which I contributed years back and it was published in the Hindu Science and Technology Supplement. Okay, now over to my speech. See, during the close of the 19th century, a dreadful disease broke out across the world. It was known as beriberi. Yes, very dreadful disease, and it claimed a heavy toll of human life. The symptoms were total paralysis, heart failure, and consequent death. If anyone is infected with beriberi, it will be a death sentence for him. There was no other choice. Scientists scratched their head, teased their brain. No. What is its etiology? That is a big question mark. Etiology means reason behind the disease. COVID-19 etiology is a virus. So every disease has got an etiology. So to which genre it belongs? Beriberi. Yes. That was $1 million question for the scientists. Meanwhile, a war was waged between in Java, Indonesia, between the Dutch army and the Akinese army. Akinese are tribals, ancient tribals. Dutch were the colonizers. Some or other, Dutch wanted to defeat the Akinese army. But bafflingly, the casualties, the Dutch army, far, far exceeded that of Akinese army. So Dutch became very nervous whether they will lose the battle. How is it that there is a heavy casualty in our side? So they summoned a brilliant scientist, an outstanding scientist, a medical doctor, Dr. Christian Aikman. This name must be remembered, Christian Aikman. Christian Aikman was a youthful genius. He was asked to go and work in Java. Yes, you please stay there, investigate, and then report to us back. What is the reason behind this heavy casualty of our army? Christian Aikman, after a fortnight in 1892, landed in Java. A no-nonsense man, he set up his laboratory, and soon, one day, to his surprise, he saw many chickens. Yes, they became emaciated, very weak, and many of them even collapsed. What is it? Yes, he was a scientist. So he culled a few dead chickens, performed a post-mortem. It was an eye-opener for him. It was all very big. Only because that disease has claimed his chickens as their victims. But for a veterinarian, they will not say it's a beriberi. It is known as polyneuritis. Polyneuritis. So this is the polyneuritis. Okay. And he kept silent, but he was closely observing the development. After a few days, some of the chickens which were an attack of beriberi, they have regained their health. Yes, this was a miracle. Not only they have regained their miracle, they took to flight even. So Christian Aikman, yes, the chickens were suffering from beriberi, many of them perished, and survivors now they have recovered. How is it? So he immediately launched on an investigation. He summoned the animal caretaker because these birds were intended for experimental purposes. And someone sees what has happened to you, what kind of feed you offer to these birds. That man said, sir, I joined just a few days back. I was a new hand. Usually, these chickens will be fed by unpolished rice. But since I was quite new to this job, I fed them with polished rice. Alas, these chickens, I do not know, some mysterious reasons, all of them fell sick. Then I was given a dressing down by my superiors. Then I switched over back to unpolished rice. Please forget and forgive me, sir. Now I am feeding them only with unpolished rice. Oh, after feeding them with unpolished rice, they have recovered. Okay, you can go. Now, the Christian Aikman, of course, a flash swept across his mind. Yes, what was that? When chickens were fed with unpolished rice, they never got very. But the new man came and he fed with polished rice. So definitely, all of them have acquired berry. So whenever you want to get rid of berry, you take plenty of unpolished rice. Ah, yes, the bubble was burst. And he soon reported back the matter to the Dutch government. And then he published a paper, very famous paper, polyneuritis in chickens. And he became an instant hero. Yes, he has found out a cure for beriberi. But still, there was a nagging question. What is that particular substance that cured beriberi in unpolished rice? What is that? Every scientist, this did not leave a single stone unturned. What was that? Answer came from 18-year-old genius, Casimir Funk, a Polish scientist. Casimir Funk, working round the clock, setting out, he extracted that particular substance from 50 grams of unpounded rice. But what was that miracle substance which cured beriberi? It was none other than thiamine hydrochloride, the vitamin B1. Yes, first vitamin to be discovered, which is being sold in the form of tablets, thousands of tablets. At this moment would have been dispensed from so many shops across the world. And that was the first vitamin to be discovered and opened the floodgates for the discovery of other vitamins. It was Funk who coined a hybrid word vitamin from the Latin. Vita means life, amine means nitrogen, that is essential for life. So he coined it as vitamin. So Christian Aikman was hailed as a hero and was awarded Nobel Prize in the year 1830. Thank you all. Thank you all.
Thanks a lot, Toastmaster Tyagarajan, for that wonderful speech. It was really nice to know the story behind discovery of vitamins. Now moving on to the next speaker. Our next speaker is our past president, distinguished Toastmaster Suganti Periasamy. And Suganti Periasamy, she needs no introduction, a TCS veteran. She's also a Toastmaster veteran as well. When I did check with Suganti as to what exactly or which is her favorite movie, she recalled that her favorite movie is Mauna Ragam. And the reason why she likes this movie is because the message behind the movie, that beautiful relationship evolves over a period of time if we make ourselves receptive of accepting and giving love. Before I invite Suganti Periasamy, I would like to call upon her evaluator, distinguished Toastmaster Yogendra Prasad, to read out the objectives of a speech. Over to you, DT Yogendra Prasad.
Thank you, Toastmaster of the day. Good evening to everybody. We have the pleasure of listening to DTM Suganti Veryasamy. The purpose, she will be attempting engaging humor path level 2 project is called Connect with Your Audience. The purpose statement is, the purpose of this project is for the speaker to practice the skills needed to connect with an unfamiliar audience. Time allotted is 5 to 7 minutes, and the title of the speech is The Curious Case of Suganti Veryasamy Part 2. The Curious Case of Suganti Veryasamy Part 2. Wish you good luck.
Thank you, DT Yogendra Prasad. Suganti Veryasamy, The Curious Case of Suganti Veryasamy Part 2. Curious Case of Suganti Veryasamy Part 2. Over to you, Suganti Veryasamy.
Have any of you written an imposition, I will not behave like a stupid, 1,000 times? Show me a raise of hands. Only one. None of you have written an imposition, I will not behave like a stupid, and that too 1,000 times? Well, welcome to the unfamiliar yet curious world of Suganti Veryasamy. It was past 11 last evening when I was seated at the dining table writing this imposition, I will not behave like a stupid, I will not behave like a stupid, and I was somewhere around the 400s. As the lights were on, the jail warden, my mother, came to check on me. Ladies and gentlemen, my house is literally like a jail. My mother locks the doors and switches off the lights sharp at 9 o'clock. Like how the jail warden chases all the inmates to their respective cells, my mother also chases my sister Vanmati and I to our bedrooms sharp at 9. Then what does the jail warden do? The jail warden goes for rounds. My mother also goes around the house to check if everything is in order. Then the jail warden would naturally check if the security and the surveillance system in jail are in place. My mother also checks if all the security cameras are working fine. The jail warden will then move over to the control room and check if they're able to see the video feed from all the cameras. Well, we don't have a control room at home. It's just that my mom uses an app on her mobile phone and checks the video feed of all the security cameras. Since there's a lot of similarity between a jail and my home, the jail warden and my mother, I fondly call my mother Jailer Mummy. Well, like how the prisoners go out once on parole, my mother also sends me once a while on parole to get groceries and vegetables. In fact, I heard in the news that the Tamil Nadu government was struggling a lot trying to find new buildings to convert them as jails so that they can get new prisoners in. I went to my mother and suggested, Jailer Mummy, we have 2 vacant bedrooms in our house. Why don't we get a bunch of prisoners and rent out those 2 rooms to the government? We might as well make some money, and I'm sure you'll take care of the good prisoners like how you're taking care of Vanmati and me. My mother looked at me and said, everybody has a right to be stupid, but I think you are abusing that privilege. Ladies and gentlemen, my mother, although she's strict like a jail warden, she's a very kind-hearted person. She always says nice things to me when I'm low in my spirits. So last night, as I was writing this imposition and I was low in spirits, I turned to my mother and said, Mommy, look at the imposition. I'm writing 410th time. I'm not supposed to behave like a stupid. Am I really a stupid? I know there is some manufacturing defect. Wait, I'm not blaming you and Daddy, but tell me, am I really stupid? My mother looked puzzled and she asked, stupid? Stupid as in what? Stupid like how you went cycling last evening when you know it was about to rain? Or you went for a haircut when corona is spreading like a wildfire and that will die without a haircut? Tell me the definition of stupidity. I showed the paper to her and said, Mommy, I'm writing this imposition because Vanmati asked me to do. Am I being stupid in writing this imposition? She laughed and said, any normal elder sister will not get bullied by a younger sister like this. Even if the elder sister gets bullied, no stupid will sit and write an imposition. I will not behave like a stupid. So I think that's it. But anyway, what is this bet? What is the new bet that you've got into with your sister? Well, mummy, this bet is not new. This bet is 10 years old. Way back in 2010, when Banmati and I went over to watch the movie called Inception, in the morning show, I lost a bet. I woke up a little late that morning and we were getting a little bit delayed. I hurriedly got ready and looked at the fridge. There was only one apple. My sister took that apple and I was of the assumption that she will share it with me on her way to the movie theater. My sister started eating the apple and I got furious. I said, I'm going to stop over for breakfast and then we'll drive to the theater. My sister looked at me. Are you stupid? If you go late to Inception, you will not understand a bit of the movie. Let's hurry and go to the theater. I need breakfast. Now let's get into a bet. What if you reach the movie theater 10 minutes before the movie starts? Let's get into a bet. My sister agreed to it. I drove like a mad person. After having breakfast, we reached the movie theater and we were in our seats 15 minutes ahead of time. Beaming with pride, I looked at my sister and said, hey, I've won the bet. So today you will listen to all that I ask you to do. My sister sarcastically said, you winning a bet with me is like the operation success and patient dead case. What was that I should be in my seat 10 minutes prior to the movie eating a chicken sandwich? What am I eating? It's a bunny sandwich. So part 2 of the bet, you've lost. The cafeteria guy didn't make chicken sandwich. So what is my problem? How will I lose the bet? Well, Suganti, you have to read the terms and conditions thoroughly before you jump like a stupid into setting up bets. Well, I was sitting and writing the bet. My mother said, it's not that you're stupid to sit and write this imposition, but I think you love your sister so much that you end up doing all this childish stuff pleasing her. Now go to bed, go and sleep. Oh, mommy, I think I still have a speech to write. Another stupid thing that I've got into. What's stupid about the speech? Well, mommy, delivering a speech is not stupid, but accepting to deliver a speech in spite of knowing who your evaluator is, I think I did a stupid thing. Well, who's your evaluator? Mommy, who is my evaluator? Well, you always said good things about him. What's wrong with him? No, he's nice, but of late he does not understand my jokes, or he pretends not to understand my jokes, and I'm delivering a humorous speech. So how will he evaluate me, mommy? My mother looked at me and she said, well, Suganti, the problem is not with you. The problem is with him. I think he has not become stupid enough to understand your jokes. Well, ladies and gentlemen, am I a stupid? Am I not a stupid? Well, please use your intelligent brain to guess it out. Well, that's the curious case of Suganti Periaswamy. Over to the Toastmaster.
Thank you, DTM Sugati Periaswamy. It was a nice and interesting speech. I thoroughly enjoyed it. Before I move on to the next session, I request the timer to call out the qualified speakers.
The qualified speakers are Toastmasters Syamla, Toastmasters Renu, Toastmasters Siagarajan.
Okay. I request all the members and guests to make note of the best speaker. Towards the end of this meeting, we will be sharing a voting link. Please make a note of it, and when the time comes, vote for the best speaker of the day. Now, moving on to the next session, which is the interesting session in any Toastmaster meeting, which is table topics. Before that, I would like to talk about one of my favorite movies, Avatar. One of my all-time favorite movies, directed by one of the most famous directors of our era, James Cameron. Brilliant visuals, brilliant graphics. In fact, even few of my Mallu friends argued with me saying that the plot of the movie is actually taken from an erstwhile Malayalam movie called Vietnam Colony, which I disagree. It's like telling that the South Korean movie Parasite is copying it from a Tamil movie called Mensarakanam. So in that movie, the character called Jake, he has lost both his legs and he's actually pushed into an unknown terrain. How he goes about and comes out trumps from the rest of the plot of the narrative. Now, what is the reason between, what is the, say, interesting connect between Avatar and Toastmasters? Like how Jake, the main character, is pushed into an unknown terrain. Here, Toastmasters will be pushed or will be given a topic to talk about. You will not know what the topic is till you hear it from the TT master. And you're supposed to give a speech on it for 1 to 2 minutes. What really happens is once you give more TT speeches, it actually increases your confidence and it actually prepares you for a lot of interesting encounters in your life outside of Toastmasters where you will be posed with such situations and you're already trained to give such answers. So that is one thing which I wanted to share. Now moving on to the person who's going to conduct this session, it's none other than Toastmaster Surya, um, who actually served as VP Education for 2 consecutive terms prior to the previous term. So when I checked with Surya as to what his favorite movie is, he actually gave a very interesting, movie title called Mahamuni. It's not a very fancy movie with message and all that, but he likes a character played by the lead Arya, which gives a lot of philosophical anecdotes. And he also seriously recommends a lot of people over here to watch that movie. And he expects a lot of people to get inspired from it as well. So I hand over the stage now to Toastmaster Surya. Over to you.
Thank you, TMOD, Toastmaster Narasimhan. So you saved a lot of time for me in terms of introducing what is table topics is. I'll straight away come to the time. So any table topic timing is 1 to 2 minutes and 30 seconds grace time will be given to wind off your speech. And minimum qualification time for a TT table topic speech is 1 minute. And table topic basically increases your ability of critical thinking. So that is a precise input that I could give. Let us start with the first speaker. The first speaker is going to be Toastmaster Kalyan. Toastmaster Kalyan. Toastmaster Kalyan is not there. So let's start with the one with the next TT speaker, Toastmaster Jagan.
Yeah.
Toastmaster Jagan, your topic is, in the land of blind, the one-eyed man is king. In the land of blind, the one-eyed man is king. Toastmaster Jagan.
Surya, you told some critical thinking and all. I seem to be lacking everything right now. I have no critical thinking. The one thing that comes to my mind is in April 2018, there was a Division I contest in Infosys. We hosted the Division I contest. That time, Medley was also part of it. Janani Suri won the TT contest and she went into the, yes, this is deja vu all over again. She went to the district. This was the exact topic that was given to her. And that's the only thing that comes to my mind because for Infosys, it was in Shoals. We were having the division contest in Shoals. And Priya Muthukumar was the division director then. So she was connecting with me and the club in Shoals to arrange this entire contest. And we had to pull in a lot of resources to make that happen. So that on that particular day, I believe Alex Jacob was also there. Selva was there. Selva, no. Hema Malini was also there. There was another. Janani Suri talked about Gandhi, and she somehow got into the district. So I don't remember the gist of it, but when I heard this particular topic, that's what comes to my mind. So nothing related to the topic I'm speaking, I know that, but somewhat related to my life. Yeah, thank you.
Definitely not Toastmasters, again, you well related to the topic. In fact, once again, you saved my time in explaining how I got the topic. I actually got this topic from Germany. So let's move on to the next table topic speaker. It is guest Swapna. Guest Swapna. Guest Swapna.
Yes. Please move on.
Yeah, Swapna is available. So Swapna, your topic. Choose to be optimistic. It feels better. Choose to be optimistic. It feels better. Guest Swapna.
Yeah. I believe when it comes to choosing, I believe we should be optimistic. Because rather than being, 1 second. The person whom we are choosing, I believe they should be more confident. So better to choose a person who is more optimistic. Yes. Hello, am I audible?
Yeah, you are.
And I want to share an incident which happened to me to choose a person during my school life. And there was a tournament going on. I think I was in 8th standard and it was a kabaddi tournament. And I was a substitute player. I was not the main player. But then too, I was waiting for the chance. I was thinking, okay, I might get chance, but hopefully I was waiting. And at last I got the chance. But I was not that confident to face. But then I thought, okay, this is the chance which I got and I have to be confident and face the challenge which I am getting, because not all the times we get chance to face it. So that time I was very optimistic and faced the challenge and we won the match. Yes.
Thank you so much, guest Swapna.
Thank you, sir. Thank you so much.
Next, we are moving on to the next speaker. Next speaker is guest Deepika Shankar. Guest Deepika Shankar. Are you available? Yes, you are. Deepika Shankar, please put yourself unmute. Okay.
So my net is pretty slow. Can someone else start? Like I'll join. I'm checking my network.
No, we are able to hear you properly. Okay, fine. Let's move on with the next speaker. Next speaker is Toastmaster Ramesh. Toastmaster Ramesh.
Yes, Surya.
Good afternoon, Toastmaster Ramesh. Your topic is unhappiness comes from imagination, not from reality. Unhappiness comes from imagination, not from reality. Toastmaster Ramesh.
Thank you, Surya. Good evening, fellow Toastmasters and dear guests. Happiness is very close to my heart. The topic, anything associated to happiness. I do have a goal in my life purpose statement that I wanted to be a kind of a catalyst to help people to improve their happiness index. You are right. The statement what unhappiness is, it's kind of artificial one. It's not reality. I remember one of the movie named Rajinikanth movie Muthu. In one of the song, I could still remember that. வாழச் சொல்வது இயற்கையடா வாழ்வில் துன்பம் செயற்கையடா. That means to live, it is natural, and be happy is also natural. being unhappy is not a natural one God is giving us. So I feel that yes, everyone should, every moment we should be feel happy about our life. There should not be any unhappy moment should arise from us, because when I look at a tree, if you look at my window, what is tree is talking to us? Many trees I've seen in this Hadayar, it is there for more than 200 years. What is that we are talking about human being? So we should feel every moment happy. And I like the theme, the movie. What beyond entertainment, I could see a lot of movies which gives inspirational. And recently, I'm just showing my kids a lot of inspirational movies. Like mainly the Spellbee, one of the movie called Spellbee, really motivated, and the Karata Kids. So all these things, not only being happy, but also we can do something better for the society. Over to Surya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Ramesh. It was indeed reminded of a very famous dialogue. Next, we are moving on to the next speaker, Toastmaster Venkatesan. Toastmaster Venkatesan, please unmute yourself.
Yes, Surya. Yes, Surya. Yes.
Toastmaster Venkatesan, you are a greedy man and an angry woman will never live prosperous. A greedy man and an angry woman will never live prosperous.
Thank you.
Toastmaster Venkatesan.
Thank you for the nice topic. I remember about the Padayappa movie. This dialogue comes in the Padayappa movie. Rajinikanth was saying against Ramya Krishnan. I remember that that scene was in my memory. I would like to take one beautiful example in my family. It happened to me, in myself and my wife. 6 months back, small baby, some 3 months old, we went to the doctor and we met the doctor for my wife only. They have conducted all the tests and other things and all. And the pediatrician, they were waiting for the pediatrician. In that time, child got very high fever. The husband was shouting his wife, why you never called me before that today morning itself, when I was doing busy in my office? You should call me on that time. As soon as I came at 7 o'clock, then only you were informing me our baby is having a fever from morning. And then because of this quarrel between husband and wife, he never took his wallet. He left the wallet in his office. But he has to pay the money. You know that all the private nursing homes, without paying money, they won't consult you or they won't conduct any test. Immediately, I paid money through my debit card. My wife was saying that, what is your problem? Because their problem, why you were unnecessary? I said, not even 3 months infant old baby. They want to do that because high fever is there. You don't know about children, they have high fever, it will affect their liver and other things and all. This is a time real. In between, the person said that, please give me your number, sir. I gave my cell number and he make a note and then he called me from there itself and he checked that is correct only. You won't believe Toastmasters. Exactly at 11 o'clock, he came from Nanganallur. He came to my house. He got through, he found it through Google Map and then he came and he gave the 2,000 rupees. And then he told me that, sir, you saved my child. Otherwise, I have to go back to Nanganallur and the person is not there in my house also. I left it to the office. You saved my children's life. I told my wife, see, at the time of 10:30, he came and he ring and he gave the money back and he said that that is the life. Always, you are not supposed to get angry for anything. If you get angry, then negative things will happen. Always, you should be optimistic. Thank you for the nice topic. Toastmaster Surya.
Thank you so much, Venkatesan. I'm glad that you still remember that dialogue. The Tamil version of it is அதிகமா ஆசைப்படுற ஆம்பளையும் அதிகமா கோவப்படுற பொம்பளையும் நல்லா வாழ்ந்து சரித்திரமே கிடையாது from a famous movie called Padayappa, acted by Rajinikanth. The next topic goes to guest Sabita Rajesh. Guest Sabita Rajesh, could you please unmute yourself? Sabita, I believe, is not available. Let's move on to the next speaker. Next speaker is guest TC Balu. Guest TC Balu, please unmute yourself. Guest TC Balu. Balu is again not available. And let's move on to the next speaker. Next speaker is our Toastmaster Dinesh.
Hi, Surya.
Hi, Toastmaster Dinesh. Who's your favorite actor? That is not your topic. Question.
My favorite actor is Surya.
My bad. Okay, anyway, this topic goes to you.
Okay.
Toastmaster Dinesh, always be polite and just don't be nasty. You be the reason to make someone happy. Always be polite and just don't be nasty. You be the reason to make someone happy. Toastmaster Dinesh.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya, for the uh, topic. It's always very important in our life that we help someone in the nature which is very much possible, and especially during these times of Corona and all, many people are losing their job, livelihood, and they are struggling to even eat food. And I see in the TV and all there are so many people who are actually helping people with their food and all. They don't expect anything else. There are and even the Prime Minister actually emphasized on it, and he awarded a girl in Madurai, I believe, where she spent thousands of rupees on people on just for food, and she was completely being benevolent, and it's a great act of kindness. And even during those hard times, it is so good to see that so many people are putting their money from their own pocket, and they are bringing in to change the society and to help the people. And it's wonderful from their side. And especially if you see, yeah, and just as Toastmaster Venkateshan told in his previous speech, that whatever good we do, it always has a cascading effect, and it comes into the society for us in a better way. And hopefully, we will all be in a much better position in a few days from now. Thank you, and over to you, Surya.
Thank you, Toastmaster Dinesh. This was indeed taken from the most sensational song that was released from the movie called Master, acted and sung by actor Vijay. The lyrics, if you could check, it was taken from a song called Tutti Story. Now, let's move on to the next speaker. Next speaker is guest Bindya. Guest Bindya, please unmute yourself. Okay, Bindya, I believe, is not available. Move on to the next speaker, guest Rukmini. Guest Rukmini, please unmute yourself. Do we have guest Rukmini? Okay, we'll move on to the next speaker, guest Dr. Uma Maheshwari. Guest Dr. Uma Maheshwari, please unmute yourself.
Yeah, I'm here. Yeah.
Uma Maheshwari, your topic is
What
do you think as your greatest weapon against stress or anxiety? What do you think as your greatest weapon against stress or anxiety?
Okay. Yeah, thank you for the topic. Actually, the greatest weapon against stress or anxiety is calmness, being composed, and thinking of something which makes you happy or doing something which makes us happy. Instead of getting angry over the person who has caused the stress or the situation which has caused the stress, instead of pondering over it, thinking calmly and thinking of how to rectify that, how to come out of it in an easy manner so that it won't hurt others as well as hurt ourselves. Like if you do it in a haste or in a hurry or in a mentality like in a rush or in anxiety, we will definitely hurt others or spoil the whole situation. Instead, if you think calmly, sit and set out everything. One easy method is write all the points which makes you get stressed. Choose a prioritize, like which has to be given priority or etc. Whichever is not necessary, we need not think about it. In that way, we can go over. Like that is being calm, composed, thinking of happiness, being happy, like so that we won't disturb others as well as our feeling will not be disturbed by others. That is the best way to come out of stress. Pondering over it doesn't take you anywhere. Like just come out of it or divert your mind. Think of something else or move away from that particular place or from that situation for a while at least. That would make things better. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes, Mama,
Yeah.
I could able to well related to a book written by Dale Carnegie, which sounds more like what you spoke.
Thank you.
Let's move on to the next speaker, guest Poonam. Poonam, please unmute yourself. Guest Poonam. Poonam, I guess you are available. Please unmute yourself. Yeah. Poonam? Poonam, hope you are available. You have unmuted yourself. Could you please speak?
Would you like to move on?
Yeah. We will move on. Deepika, guest Deepika, are you available? Next guest, Muthu Venkatesan. Guest Muthu Venkatesan. I believe it is guest Muthayan Venkatesan. Please unmute yourselves. Guest Muthayan Venkatesan, please, if you are available in the room, please unmute yourself. Okay, can we have guest India next?
Surya, guest Swapna is pending. She said that she can join later.
Yeah, guest Swapna.
Sir, I have finished.
Okay. So is there any other speakers available? VP, could you please recommend any speakers or someone who could volunteer yourself? I've got some nice set of topics.
Hi everyone, this is Atishay. I would like to volunteer.
Thanks, guest Atishay. Your topic is one who sweats more in training, bleeds less in war.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya. Yeah,
One who sweats more in training, bleeds less in war.
yeah, thank you. Uh, Whenever we see someone working really, really hard, and whenever we see someone achieving success, we say this success is the fruit of blood, toil, tears, and sweat. Now, if a person is willing to shed tears, shed sweat when they train, when they are in control of the situation, when they are the ones who control how much pain they want to take, how much hard work they want to put in. Then when it comes to be when it comes to time when it comes the time to perform, to be at war, they know their potential, they know their capacities, and hence they are able to they don't have to bleed as much as the untrained person in war. I remember one quote quote that I'm very fond of. It says it's by Conor McGregor, and the quote goes like this: I don't ever have to prepare for a fight, and this is not verbatim, but he says something like, I don't ever prepare for a fight, I'm always prepared. So this should be the crux. I believe this should be the mindset that any person who's preparing for war should always have with himself, that you don't prepare for a war, you stay prepared throughout, so that whenever there's war, you are able to fight and you are able to win without having to bleed your heart out. Thank you.
Thank you so much, guest Atishay. This was indeed topic was more related to a Hollywood movie which was released in the year 2017. It was a movie called 300, which portrays the exact sentence which I said. Now the time is up. Can we have some more speakers, or shall we go on to the next section? PP, can we have some more speakers, or shall we move on?
Please ask for another volunteer and we could stop with that maybe.
One more volunteer is most welcome.
Surya, nobody is there, then I'll take it up. Rohit, yeah.
Okay.
All right. If nobody is taking it up, I'll take it.
Yeah. Toastmaster Rohit, your topic is cinema is a mirror by which we often see ourselves. Cinema is a mirror by which we often see ourselves. Toastmaster Rohit.
Sorry, I couldn't follow. Can you please repeat it again?
Cinema is a mirror by which we often see ourselves. Cinema is a mirror by which we often see ourselves.
Yeah, got it. Yeah. Good afternoon, fellow Toastmasters guests, and good afternoon, Toastmaster of the day, TD Master. So, movies is something where you not only look at yourself, you also go there to take a break from work. So when you take a break from your hectic schedule, or somebody can also be movie buffs who make it an effort to always watch every movie that has been released. Some also make it a point to be there in the first day, first show. So there are different characters. So they are not just people who go there to go watch a movie to get a reflection of themselves, but also for various other reasons. There could be somebody who might take somebody out for a date also to the movie just to spend some quality time. So there are various reasons why somebody would go into the movie, and after a hectic schedule, after a hectic week, somebody would go watch a movie to unwind themselves. So in the meantime, what they would do is, if anybody is really stressed out, they would take this opportunity to watch a movie and let the magic of movie do the trick on themselves, so that they can really unwind and relax. So there are also people who really go there to be a critic and also analyze what the movie is. And in the process, they also see if they can fit into some role in that movie, or fit into a character's role in that movie. So I feel this is what the topic of your this is what the crux of your topic is. Thank you, Toastmaster.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Rohit. Dear Toastmasters and guests, hope you enjoyed the set of topics that I brought in today. Now I would like to hand over the control to Toastmaster of the day, Toastmaster Narasimhan. Over to you, Toastmaster.
Thank you, Toastmaster Surya. It was a nice and interesting table topic session. Before I move on to the next session, I would request the timer to read out the names of the qualified TD speakers.
Okay, so the qualified table topic speakers are Toastmasters Jagan, guest Swapna, Deep, sorry. Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan, Toastmaster Dinesh, guest Uma Maheshwari, guest Aktishay, and guest Rohit.
Thank you, Toastmaster Menu. Like I said earlier, please make a note of the best TT speaker. When the voting links are up, request you to vote for the best TT speaker of the day. Now, moving on, see, movies also, Toastmaster Ramesh, when he was giving his TT speech, also stressed upon the inspiration value which movies provide. In fact, whenever I'm down and out, there are a lot of movie quotes which I look forward to pep me up. A few of the ones are from the movie Rocky Balboa. It goes like this: life is not about how hard you hit. Life is about how hard you can get hit and keep moving forward. Another very interesting quote from the movie Pursuit of Happiness, which I look for whenever I'm down, is don't let someone tell you you can't do something, not even me. You got a dream, you got to protect it. People can't do something themselves, they want to tell you you can't do it. Apart from that, one of the most interesting aspects when it comes to movies, not only from an inspiration perspective, right? The people who act in it, they attain demigod status. They receive a lot of, say, attention. And of course, some of them have gone on to take advantage of the attention that they get to, say, greater heights. Now, coming on to the next session, like the evaluator introduced himself, critique. The importance of critique is to ensure that whatever, say, mistakes that you have made can be corrected or rectified so that the other movie or the other task that you take over can be done in a better manner. With that said, I now hand it over to Toastmaster Pranav Sudarshan to take over the evaluation session. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you, Narasimhan. So yes, we are back for the second half. Now all the role players have done their job. They've done all the acting or whatever has been done. And now it's time for my team, the critics team, the mega critics team. Well, don't worry, it will be constructive criticism after all. So let me start with the evaluation session. So the first evaluator for today to evaluate Shyamla's speech will be Toastmaster Raghunath Nair. He's the current VP of Medley Toastmasters, and he also works at Nissan. So I now request him to please evaluate Shyamla's speech.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav. Good afternoon, everyone, and especially Shyamla, my target speaker. What a wonderful speech it was. Let me really congratulate for that, our opportunity to hear a wonderful speech. And I would like to put you into that genre of a good storyteller. What did you, so I'm going to evaluate and put you into three. What did you excel? What is there to improve? And what is that you can challenge? What did you excel at? Your topic selection of Angel in Disguise really caught my attention. So I was really prepared to hear that speech from the beginning. The speech was really well articulated. The voice clarity, the diction was extremely good. And you are able to have a very good body language with good pauses. And your eyes was always speaking to the audience, which means in this particular online treatment, you have really caught up and gotten. You really mastered that online delivery of speeches. It really helped you to get the audience attention. The interaction with the audience was exemplary, especially when the speech contains the experience about yourself. And that could really relate well to that whole audience. And narration and the flow was really good, which flow from one incident to another. And the conclusion question to the TMOD that added that additional feather of interaction with the audience. With a clear transition, interaction, and good concluding message, you had overcome the key feedback from your earlier speech, which says a strong lead up to conclusion would make a greater impact. What are the points that you should work on? To me, I felt you should try more voice variation. Like when you're transitioning from one character to another, it would have better if there was a slight variation in your voice or a different thing, a different tone or from one character to another. And to challenge yourself, what you should look into is try and utilize the maximum time. Today, you had almost
of 1 minute over 1 minute, and that 1 minute could have made a much more bigger impact, and of the message that you want the audience to take away could have been made better. This can be done by measuring the number of words that you could speak in 1 minute, incorporating all your voice varieties. Overall, an amazing speech. Looking forward to hearing a more challenging topics in your future speeches. All the best, Toastmaster Shamla. Over to you, Pranav.
Thank you very much, Raghu sir, for your evaluation. So next evaluator today, actually, how do I introduce him? He is someone who has been very sincere as a medallion ever since the time he came to the club. Uh, I specifically like him because not for all this, but because he helped me with the minutes of meeting many times in my term as the secretary in Medley, and eventually he became my wonderful successor. Toastmaster Ranga, as all of you know, he says he's very fond of movies and he loves interacting with people and take life one day at a time. So with this, I ask Toastmaster Ranga to please evaluate your target speaker, Renu.
Thank you so much, Toastmaster Pranav. My target speaker, Renu, is a fantastic storyteller. She started off once again by telling a personal story. It was very vivid, it was crisp, and very clear. When she spoke about the child screaming, actually we could feel the shivers of the child screaming. And it was a measured speech. She was able to she was able to portray whatever she wanted to, and we were able to get the drift of where she was talking about the safety. Her hand gestures were very good, and we were able to see it. She had a connect with the audience. There was also a message at the end where she said that safety always comes first. Now, as far as the things where I felt that she could improve was that there was more description about the event rather than about the safety aspect of the safety aspects. Although she did describe about the journey and how they were unprepared when the weather suddenly shifted. But what I felt was the way she could have portrayed more about how safety was at the beginning itself, whether the boat was equipped to handle situations. Overall, it was, as a storyteller, she really was she was in full flow. She was able to relate to the story. She was able to relate the story very well. But I felt that this was the only aspect that I could think about. I look forward to listening to more of her speeches. Thank you.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Ranga. The next evaluator to evaluate Toastmaster Tyagarajan sir's speech, she's someone who's very popular in Medley, and she's won multiple accolades. Whenever contest time comes, she's the star there, and none other than Toastmaster Priyadarshini. So when I asked her thoughts on the theme of magic of movies, so Priya says that she loves movies because she sees things like birds swimming, human beings flying, and many other things. That's quite nice. So with that, I ask Toastmaster Priya to please evaluate Toastmaster Tyagarajan.
Okay. I still remember when I was in school, I did a science project and I definitely talked on beriberi. We friends would always make fun of vitamins, especially when my friend she used to feel low, we used to say, you need to take vitamin E. That was the fun side of vitamins. A very good afternoon to all my fellow Toastmasters. Today, our speaker, Toastmaster Tyagarajan, gave a very serious talk on this vitamins. And beriberi, what we call vitamin B1 is known as beriberi. I should say why I like this was it made us realize what was the reason for the origination of this vitamins and what was the process. Might be, and the end result that what I got to learn at last is how important is this B1, and we never knew how was it originated. To tell it in a very simple way, there was a fight between this Dutch and the Atkins. There was some casualty. A very smart person who named as Christopher Hitchens was called from 19th century to the Nobel Prize award winning. Everything was told as a story, and I felt it was the best way to tell any science lesson through a story. And we know this vitamin B1 is a very effective medicines because it can cure nervous, brain, intestinal. There's so many organs of our body which needs this B1. Now, coming back, yes, the bubble bursted when the casualty was to a chicken, and because the food given to it was a polished, rice. This was the conclusion we got through the story, which led to the discovery of a very famous vitamin. Now, very effective and important lesson. But now coming to the very important section, which is the recommendation. There's one recommendation for me here. As we all know, this words or this science topic is not a very day-to-day topic. We get to talk or we get to, use it in our day-to-day life. It would have been better if there was a PPT presentation, if there was some sort of image, then you could have told vitamins is an amine which is vital for life, or say vitamins which is also known as thiamine. Through this way, the education would have been more effective. Overall, I thoroughly enjoyed because I felt through story, if someone can take science, then history as well as science will never be forgotten. Thank you so much. Over to you, General Evaluator.
Thank you very much, Toastmaster Priya. So the final evaluator for today is DTM Yogendra Prasad. So he's a former president of Advanced Pinnacle Toastmasters. So we have a former president of Advanced Pinnacle evaluating the former president of Medley Toastmasters here. So with that, I invite him to please evaluate DTM Suganthi's speech. Sir.
Thank you, General Evaluator. It was a very interesting speech. I think this is the first time I hear DTM Suganthi deliver a speech that has a humorous element to it. So which was the first, and which was nice to see. And DTM Suganthi, you were comfortable and while speaking, and also comfortable while making fun of your own self. I think this is the ultimate show of confidence in who you are, because you were able to make fun of yourself and create some humor. I love the humorous content that was in the speech also, such as writing an imposition discussion with the mother about how stupid or not stupid you are, getting bullied by the younger sister, source of the bet that created all of this drama. So I thought, and all of this brought smiles, and also we were laughing. So I thought in that aspect you have achieved that. Now, a few areas for improvement. First is, I thought there was a lot of instances. Now I would say this: if we paused the speech and tried to listen to it, it would have appeared as if you were delivering a very serious speech, because the facial expressions were such that you were very serious about the speech rather than being happy, smiley, or you. I felt as if you wanted the audience to enjoy the speech, but maybe because you were making fun of your own self, you were not comfortable smiling or being part of the speech and enjoying the speech too. My suggestion is to smile so that we all will be put in a comfortable place. Second is pauses. Now, for example, you were saying the jail warden, and then you immediately went on to say my mother. What we could have done is, in this space, you could have said jail warden, I mean my mother. A simple pause there could have helped you create laughter and humor. I think there was an instant where there were many instances where you could have had pauses which could have helped the story that you are telling. Next is the pitch. Actually, this to me sounded more like an inspirational, motivational speech at times because of the pitch, because it was very it was high pitch, and the warmth of the speech at times lacked the warmth that a humorous, funny speech requires. Second suggestion is from the manual itself. The manual says, select a topic that is unfamiliar to your audience. You are the president, past president of the club. I'm sure the members are pretty familiar about you, of you. Second is connect with your audience, I think, which you did. Third is practice adapting as you present. If you feel the audience is not accepting your point of view, or if they are agreeing, how do you adapt? I could not see how you were doing that. Maybe you could have asked a question and all of that. So that could have helped you understand where the audiences were in terms of agreement with your speech. Fourth is monitor your audience's reaction, adopt as necessary to maintain engagement. Sugandhi, I felt personally a topic about yourself did not do justice to the objectives, because in this, the objective was to deliver a speech that people are unfamiliar about, so that you would adopt to the requirements and deliver a speech. My personal feeling was a topic that was not about you could have catered to this specific objective and could have helped you achieve that objective even better. But having said that, I thought you have, as a humorously speaking manual, engaging with humor, I thought you achieved that objective, but on the other objectives, you could have been a little more focused. Thank you very much for delivering this speech. I enjoyed listening. Thank you.
Thank you very much, sir, for your detailed evaluation. So now we come to the session of the tag report, where I request my timer, Toastmaster Abhimanyu, please first read out the list of qualified evaluators.
Thanks, Vinod. So the qualified evaluators are Toastmaster Raghunath, Toastmaster Ranga, and Toastmaster Priyadarshan.
Okay, so please vote accordingly in the URL which will be shared. So now I request Abhimanyu to continue and read his detailed timer report.
All right, I will start with the prepared speeches. So Toastmasters Shamla took 6 minutes and 24 seconds. Toastmasters Renu took 6 minutes and 17 seconds. Toastmasters Tyagarajan took 9 minutes and 23 seconds. TTM Sugandhi Periaswamy ma'am took 7 minutes and 57 seconds. Then comes the table topic. So Toastmaster Jagan took 1 minute and 29 seconds. Guest Swapna took 1 minute and 56 seconds. Toastmaster Ramesh Murugan took 1 minute and 50 seconds. Toastmaster Venkatesan took 2 minutes and 34 seconds. Toastmaster Dinesh took 1 minute and 16 seconds. Guest Uma Maheshwari took 1 minute and 35 seconds. Guest Akticha took 1 minute and 26 seconds. Toastmaster Rohit took 2 minutes. And at the end, for the evaluation sections, Toastmaster Raghunath took 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Toastmaster Ranga took 1 minute and 52 seconds.
Nothing is audible. Nothing is audible. Better if you can repeat. I do not know the time. Yes, nothing was audible.
Was it audible? Sir Thomas, sir, you are on mute if you are saying something.
It is audible.
Please complete
I can,
the
yeah,
report.
I can.
Yes, please. Thank you.
Okay. So for the evaluation, I will repeat again. Toastmaster Raghunath took 2 minutes and 47 seconds. Toastmaster Ranga took 1 minute and 52 seconds. Toastmaster Priyadarshini took 2 minutes and 38 seconds. And at the end, Toastmaster Yogendra Prasad took 4 minutes and 15 seconds. Over to you, Bruno.
Thank you, Abhimanyu. So moving on, we are now going to the R counter, Toastmaster Shankar. Can you please give your report?
Okay. Thank you, G. So I think if we have a speaker like this, there is no need for R counter role in medley. So let me read out the speaker. Shamala, it is 1 pass. Renu, clean speech. Tyagarajan, clean speech. Sukanti had 2 passes. And when it comes to table topic for Toastmaster Jagan, there is a repetition of context twice. That was the filler. Guest Swapana passed 2 times. I think 2. 1 time. And there is a word chance 2. Toastmaster Ramesh, there is a repetition of yes. because you know, there was the repetition. Then moving on to Toastmaster Venkatesh, there is a long pause one and a short pause one, and there is a one time. Toastmaster Dinesh, and one time, and he used for three times. Guest Dr. Uma Mageshwari, one time, like or there was a repetition. When it comes to Adishli, it was the clean speech. Toastmaster Rohit, so three times. Pass and that were used by three times. When it come to evaluator, Toastmaster Raghunath was the clean speech. Toastmaster Ranga, or one time. Toastmaster Priya, she used for four times. You know, one time. Toastmaster Yogendra Prasad, you very warm. It was the two times. Over to GE.
Thank you very much, Accountant Toastmaster Shankar. So the final tag player, we move on to the grammarian's report by Toastmaster Sarvanan.
Thank you, GE. So I'll start from the very beginning itself. DTM Thomas, during his president's speech, gave an outstanding usage, cakewalk. And he used similes like medley is like Red Bull. So that's a good usage. Then Toastmaster of the day, Narasimhan, used many outstanding usage of words. Elucidate mannerisms, stress buster, young and energetic. These are all good usages. Then I can see a hyperbole being used by Toastmaster of the day, Narasimhan, that is umpteen number of times. Then G. Pranav used like Dasavararam roles of Abhimanyu. So when Abhimanyu used several roles, he compared that with Dasavararam. That's a very nice usage. Then he also used a metaphor, supporting cast, that is blending with the team, which compares all the tag role players. So he was comparing that the tag roles, supporting cast, and the mobile. Then Toastmaster Shyamla during his speech used a metaphor, swallow me from reality. That is a good usage. Angel in disguise. So she compared angels and humans. That is a nice way of representing the speech. Then Toastmaster Renu used an outstanding usage, abysmal. And then she also used a hyperbole, heart was in my mouth. So it's an exaggeration, but it is done nicely over there. And Toastmaster Tyagarajan, it was like more of a grammarian's delight. So I would say like there were so many outstanding usages, like etiology, cult, dressing down he used an idiom, and then youthful genius, emaciate, hailed as a hero. I mean, I'm counting all those things. I mean, it's really very well done. Thank you, sir, for that. And he used word of the day also. At the same time, like, the word of the day was used once. And then the next one is DTM Suganti. She used in her speech, Curious Case of Suganti Periyasamy Part 2. She used abusing the privilege. That's a nice way of putting things into perspective. Then she used many metaphors, jail warden, prisoners, manufacturing defect. These are all very nicely embedded within the speech. Very well done. And Toastmaster Jagan during his TT speech used deja vu all over again when he was able to recollect all those things that happened in the past. Then I noted down Toastmaster Dinesh during his TT speech used some usages like benevolent, cascading effect. These are all very, very well nicely done. Then guest Uma Maheshwari used words like calm and composed, which are very much rhyming towards that. And guest Atishay used shedding tears, and then he used a metaphor, bleed your heart out. So these are all nicely done. And Toastmaster Raghunath used, during his evaluation, used word of the day once. And then he also used an anaphora, this got and got in. That is very nicely embedded within the evaluation speech. Toastmaster Ranga used words like vivid, crisp, clear, which was very continuous and very rhyming and nice to hear as well. These are all some of the good usages I have noted down. And there was only one place where I felt like incorrect usage was there. That is feel every moment happy. It can be like feel happy every moment. So that is some jumble words. So you can use like that. That's one thing. And then one tip I can use here is When you are use active voice, there is a way to do that. SVO, that is subject, verb, and object. This is the foundation of the English language. When you are using that, please try to use that. Some of the examples are Saran walked the dog. The dog liked Saran. I did not like the dog. So these are all some of the things which we can keep in mind. SVO is the key usage for any foundation of English language as such. With this, I conclude my grammarian report. Over to the general level.
Thank you very much, Grammarian. That was indeed a very professional and a detailed report from your side. Now, finally coming to my report. Yes, the meeting started late by 3 minutes at 2:58 p.m. And so let me come section by section first. So starting right from the introductions from the presiding officer up to the TMOD, I think the theme was a very good one. It connected with everyone. And also next, after TT, coming to the prepared speeches, well, all of them acted very well, gave some beautiful dramatizations from their side, especially Shyamala and Suganti ma'am. And post that, the TT session, well, Surya chose quite some good topics. And also my critics team, they did an excellent and fabulous job, according to me. Those were some amazing detailed evaluations. And so some of the recommendations I have is starting the meeting on time. And yes, I think we might be running late today. So something we can control next time. And during the prepared speeches, I noticed a lot of disturbances multiple times. And also during many portions of the meeting. To TMOD Narasimhan, since I saw his TMOD role last time when he did the 1990s theme, and he presented some very beautiful pictures every now and then. So my expectation was, he would do something in a similar manner by, showcasing some movies which would take us down the memory lane. I felt probably maybe you could have presented something, some portions during the meeting. That would have been more fun. And to the table topics master, Surya, I felt if you had brought some more topics related to movies, you did bring 2-3 topics related to Rajni, which made me very happy. But probably some more topics aligned with the theme would have made it more entertaining. And yes, so from my side, this is all I have to say. So now I hand it back to TMOD Narasimhan. Narasimhan?
Thank you, Toastmaster Pranav. So when it comes to movies, if it becomes predictable, before I sign off, we are now in the climax portion. As I said earlier, we are in the final stages of our meeting. Before I sign off, the voting URL is up. I request all the members and guests to vote for the best role player of the day. The people who played the roles were myself, Narasimhan as Toastmaster of the day, followed by Pranav, who is the general evaluator, and then Surya, who played the role of the table topics master. Now, moving on, before I handle over the mantle to the next person, see, if a movie is predictable, if a movie follows the similar plot line, right, it becomes boring. So similarly, if you look at Toastmasters meeting, if you have, say the same set of sessions over and over again, right, it becomes predictable and boring. So what happens is movies, director has a twist in the plot or a suspense element, which actually turns the story upside down. It also brings in an element of surprise, which works very well with the audience. Similarly, in Toastmasters, we are going to have this surprise section, which will be handled by Amita. I now hand it over to Amita. Amita, when I did check with her, her favorite movie is Little Manhattan. She felt really connected with the movie, and that's one of her favorite movies. Before I sign off, I thoroughly enjoyed, presenting this theme to you and also playing the role of the Toastmaster of the day. I hope all of you have enjoyed it as much as I brought it to you as well. I now hand it over to Toastmaster Amita for the surprise element section of this meeting. Over to you, Amita.
Thank you for bringing up the hype of the entire surprise session. I hope I can do justice. And before that, can all of you hear me? Just a check. Yes? Okay.
Yes,
cool.
Amita, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so I do have a PPT to share. Yeah. Okay, so what is the big surprise? That's what we've been talking about the past week, about having a surprise session. So being the first surprise session, I hope all of you will enjoy it. So this is meeting number 576 is welcome to the listening quiz. So this whole surprise session is to see how well you guys listen to the whole session. I hope it's going to be interesting and not, cliche like the other listening quizzes. So the first, question number 1, and also I request all the speakers from whose speeches I got the questions from to not answer so that it will be a good quiz to the others. First question, what is the name of Shyamala's maid? Can anybody answer?
Gita.
Yes, sir. Yes, Ranga, yeah, you can tell me. Hello?
Yeah?
Yeah, the answer?
Gita.
Oh, yes, you're right. Yeah, you're right. And I can present you a munch for your answer.
Tested well.
Question number 2. Who were our TMOD's angel in disguise? He mentioned 4 names. I mean, he didn't mention names, but he mentioned 4 people as his angels. Who are they?
Mom, dad, his son, and his wife.
Okay, that's right. His mother, father, wife, and children. And to Pranav, I give him my most favorite chocolate Kit Kat.
I want that.
Okay. And question number 3. Name the disease the chickens were suffering from. I'm sure it's an easy answer. We've discussed it many times. Anybody? Would anybody like to answer?
Very?
Yes, Tanga, it's very big. And I'll give you a perk now. I will not give you Kit Kat though, but it's okay. So question number 4. Name the movie that Sugandhi ma'am and her sister watched.
Inception.
Okay. Yes, great. So Shyamala and the other who answered, I'm not sure, will give you Twix. It's a very rare chocolate and it's very hard to find also. So there you go. Question number 5. What tournament did our guest Swapna participate in and what was she studying then?
She was studying in 8th standard and
Awesome.
she participated in... Oh God.
Come on, you're close. Come on.
Buddy.
Yes, great. So to both of you, I will give you stickers. Yeah, and question number 6. What were the 2 inspirational movies that Toastmaster Ramesh showed his kids during the quarantine?
Spell B 1.
One was
Okay.
Karate.
Karate Kid.
Yeah. Okay, so there's multiple answers. I think I should get more chocolates, but you guys will be getting gems. It's a Maha pack you can share actually. And to our final question, a girl was awarded for spending thousands of rupees for feeding the poor by the government. Where was she from?
Trichy.
No, Madurai.
Madurai. Yes, to Jagan, I am going to give you M&Ms. So that was a surprise session of today. Hope you guys liked it. And about getting the chocolates in real, I'll really think about it and get back to you guys. So thank you. You're on mute,
Sir, you
Thomas.
are on mute, sir.
First of all, thank you very much, Amita, not just for the sweets, the chocolates, choice of all of them, but for the way you conducted it. The maiden surprise, you made it a surprisingly good one. Congratulations. And you should be on TV, but do visit us at Medley for events like this. But overall, friends, this is my opportunity to say thank you to the entire crew of today's entire movie crew for putting together such a wonderful movie, apt and appropriate for a Saturday afternoon. Sure enough, the theme of magic that Toastmaster Narasimhan brought of music, of movies, inspired 4 movies. I saw one about medical thriller. Then there was a mid-sea adventure. Then we had a third one which was equally. I'm getting that. Then you had a train journey, and you had Sisters into the Bad Habit of Betting, but the climax was in a movie theater appropriately. And also congratulations to today's Sergeant at Arms for doing a triple role. one of them for the first time. And I would now move on to getting some guest reactions. Do we have Deepika Shankar with us? Deepika, you can come back. Meanwhile, do we have Dr. Uma Maheshwari with us? Dr. Uma Maheshwari? All right. Do we have Adishay? Hello?
Yes.
Adishay, this is your first visit to Medley?
Yeah, correct.
How did you come to know of Medley?
I have a colleague, Mr. Vinod Shivadas. So he told me about this.
All right. Okay. Where could you tell us something about yourself?
So I work at Viasat in Chennai as a computer science engineer, as a software developer. And I recently graduated from Shiv Nadar University in Greater Noida. I was into public speaking and oratory back in school. Then there was a 4-year gap when I joined college. Now I'm planning to pick it up again and exploring clubs and other opportunities I can get to continue where I left off in 2016. So yeah.
Wonderful. Your track record showed in the short 2 minutes you spoke to us. Where are you based currently, if I may ask you?
I am in Chennai only.
Okay, so do visit us. Do visit us.
Sure,
Yeah?
definitely.
Thank you for visiting us. Do we have Sabida Rajesh with us? In fact, let's make it easy. Any of the guests would like to give their experience, what it was like today? Any guest is welcome. Just unmute and boldly speak. It's like a TT with a known topic. All right, no issue. In which case, may I turn to formally welcome DTM Yogendra Prasad, and please speak to us. What would you suggest we can do better?
No. I think that would be not correct at all, because I enjoyed the meeting. Thank you very much for the invitation. It was a very this is the first meeting that I have attended, I think, in Tamil Nadu. So it was beautiful. It was fantastic. It was a very good meeting. The prepared speeches were very good. Surprisingly good table topic session, and even the participants who were even guests spoke really well. And then very good evaluation session also. I loved how everything was crisp and easygoing, and people were not asking, can we speak, or can you hear, or can you see me? It was very well done. I think the organization of the meeting overall was also very good. So I thought it was a fantastic meeting. It was a fantastic meeting. So I'm very happy and glad that I was part of the meeting. So thank you very much for the invitation.
Most motivating, your feedback. We appreciate that. And like I said, I talked about the demography. All of us, we truly appreciate it. And please convey our greetings to our colleagues of yours. Thank you very much. Do visit us more often.
Sure.
Friends, then that means it's time to declare the results. Are we ready for it? Oh yes, Shamla is ever ready. I must thank you for that. That's an empathetic audience to have, Shamla. Thank you. So then here we go. The best tag player is Grammarian Saravanan. Right? And the best table topic speaker is Atishay. There is no Atishay in that. He did well. Very good. The best evaluator is Raghunath Nair. The best role player is Narasimhan tying with Surya. So it's a dual role, or it's a twins as heroes, whichever way you would like to that. And the best speaker of the day is Shamla. Congratulations, winners. We now move on to the last part of the show, which is we are behind time by how many minutes? We will improve upon this. We are well within time. We are well within time. It's like the last batsman making up for the earlier batsman. I'm happy to do that. With this, I will close this session with the sound of this imaginary gavel. And welcome to the chatty chat room. The floor is yours. Please unmute and chat. Thank you.
May I share some uh, regarding the table topics? When we spend considerable amount of time calling people, yes, are you there? Are you there?